Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. I welcome you all to today's session of the daily quiz, a place where we discuss the most important topics from today's current affairs in the form of questions for the prelims examination. Before we begin, once again a quick reminder, if you are facing any issue in your UPSC preparation journey, our experts are here to help you out with that. All that you need to do is click on the link of the Google form which is given to you in the description of the video and in the pinned comment section. Fill up that Google form, give us all your details, and one of our experts will get in touch with you to help you navigate this UPSC journey. Now with that out of the way, let's begin with the first question of the day. Operation Prosperity Guardian, recently seen in the news, is related to which of the following areas? Is it the Malacca Strait? Is it the Red Sea? Is it the Mediterranean Sea? Or is it the Black Sea? Now, this topic has been discussed in our CNAs also in the past few days. This is an operation launched by US and joined by other countries as well, and it is focused on the Red Sea. As you know, in the past few weeks, there have been multiple attacks on cargo ships in the Red Sea, especially at the hands of the Houthi rebels that are fighting against the Yemen government for many years now. These Houthi rebels are believed to be supported by Iran. That is why a lot of cargo ships are now taking a different route altogether. They are giving a miss with Suez Canal. If they want to reach from Europe to Asia, they are now going all around Africa and they are reaching their destination, which is increasing the cost of transportation considerably. That is why nations such as the US and other Western countries have launched this operation to have their patrolling vessels in the Red Sea. This mission is being joined by other countries as well. It is in the news because Singapore and Sri Lanka have also decided to join this mission, and they will also be sending their naval ships. Interestingly, India so far has not joined this mission officially. Next, question number 2. Consider the following statements with regards to the Square Kilometer Array Observatory, SKAO. Number 1. It is a new intergovernmental organization dedicated to radio astronomy and is headquartered in France. Second, once operational, the Square Kilometer Array would be between 5 to 60 times more powerful than the most advanced existing radio telescopes functioning in comparable frequency ranges. Third, the Square Kilometer Array will not be a single large telescope but a collection of the thousands of dish antennas operating as a single unit. How many of these are correct? Now, this is a very important and interesting topic. It is in the news because India has now also decided to join this mission. We would also be collaborating with a host of other countries that are already working on this mission for some time now. If you look at these three statements, the first one is wrong. The reason being this observatory is headquartered not in France but in UK. Second and third are true. Once operational, it would be at least 5 to 60 times more powerful than the present most advanced radio telescopes. Third one is also correct. It is not one single telescope. It's actually a large array of telescopes distributed across multiple countries. Thus, the answer here is B. Any two are correct. The first one is wrong. There is an article in the Indian Express newspaper today about this radio telescope and how India has also decided to join this. If you look at this article, it tells you about how important it is going forward for the world in the field of astronomy. That is why nations around the world have come together and have decided to join hands, with India also playing a key role here. Now, the two countries where array of these telescopes will be set up are Australia and South Africa. So again, remember, the headquarters of this observatory is in UK, but physically the telescopes will be set up in Australia and in South Africa. Next is question number 3. Consider the following statements. Number 1. 2023 was the warmest year since records began in 1850, beating the previous record of 2018. Second, 2023 marked the first time on record that every day within a year exceeded 1 degree Celsius above 1850 to 1890 pre-industrial level. Third, in 2023, the greenhouse gas concentrations reached the highest levels ever recorded in the atmosphere. Which of these is or are correct? Now, it is common knowledge that with almost every passing year, we are seeing the records being broken, the records of average global temperature. 2023 so far has been considered as the warmest year recorded since the records started to be kept in 1850. Before this, the warmest year was not 2018. Before this, the warmest year was 2016. So first statement is wrong. 2023 is the warmest year officially now, but before that, the record was held by 2016. Second is true. Every single day in 2023, the average temperature across the globe, if you record this, it was above 1 degree Celsius as compared to the pre-industrial revolution era temperatures. And the third is also correct. The greenhouse gas concentration also in 2023 has reached the all-time high level. So again, dangerous signs coming in from all these data and numbers. Thus, the answer here is B. Any two of these are correct. The first statement is wrong. Second and third are correct. The reason why we're discussing this is again this article in the Indian Express newspaper, which tracks the global temperatures on an average year on year. As you can see, 2023 being the warmest. Before this, it was this year, that is 2016. Also, it talks about the variations across the entire world, how the variations are being seen at almost every place. It's not just restricted to certain parts of the world. You can read this in detail. It talks about how the concentration of the greenhouse gases is a major driver of increasing global temperature around the entire world. That is why there are continuous meetings held, especially under the UNFCCC, to cut down on the greenhouse gas emissions, which should be a topmost priority. Next is question number 4. The International Purple Fest recently seen in the news is related to which of the following? Empowerment of women, strengthening of democracy, empowerment of people with disabilities, or rights of the transgenders. The International Purple Fest. This is related to the empowerment of people with disabilities. Now, as you have seen, the government of India in the past few years has been giving a very key attention to the empowerment of people suffering from any kind of disability. The government has made it easier for them to get loans if they want to enter into entrepreneurship. The government has also been helping them by giving them more scholarships. The government has also made it a point to include them in sports as much as possible. If you saw the Arjuna Award ceremony, a lot of athletes from the disabled category were also given this award due to their astounding achievement. And this is again government's initiative to ensure that there is inclusivity in the society. The International Purple Fest is a step in that direction only. It drives empowerment, inclusive education through assertive technology. It is mainly to ensure that India is on path to ensure there are equal opportunities provided to everyone for education, for job, for empowerment, irrespective of whether they have some issues physically or not. Next is the previous year question from 2013 from Indian Polity. Which one of the following statements is correct? Number 1. In India, same person cannot be appointed as governor for 2 or more states at the same time. Wrong. They can be. Second, judges of High Court of the state are appointed by the governor of the state. No. High Court and Supreme Court, as you know, both the judges are appointed by the President of India. The governor appoints district judges and subordinate judges, but the High Court and the Supreme Court judges are appointed by the order of the President of India. Third, no procedure has been laid down in the Constitution for removal of the governor from his or her post. Absolutely correct. This is also reason for a lot of controversy. Wherever you see any change in the government, the central government level, you will see that the first thing that the government does is to remove the governors that were appointed by the previous governments. Doesn't matter if their tenure is over or not. The reason why they can do that is because the Constitution of India does not provide for any specific procedure for removal of the governor. Fourth, in case of UT having a legislative setup, Chief Minister appointed by Lieutenant Governor, no. The Chief Minister in a union territory is appointed by the President of India. You will see the oath taking ceremony, etc. being administered by the Lieutenant Governor in most cases, but that is on behalf of the President. Officially in union territories, Chief Ministers, the ministers are appointed on the order of the President of India only. And that is why the answer here was C. Next, we want to discuss an important fact of the day. The fact that we want to take up today is the minority education institution status of AMU, Aligarh Muslim University. Now in Indian polity, you all would have read how Article number 30 of the Indian Constitution gives certain special rights to minority education institutions. That is, they have complete freedom of their operation. They can have their own regulations. For example, they don't have to follow the reservation rules of the government of India. They can have their own reservation policies as well. Now, the status of Aligarh Muslim University, whether it should be considered as a minority education institution or not, has always been a matter of great debate. At present, where we stand today, the institution does not have the minority education institution status. This has been a long history. The reason why it is in the news is that a 7-judge bench of the Supreme Court has started hearing the matter once again about the minority status of Aligarh Muslim University. Now, the dispute goes back a long way. In fact, it's a 57-year-old dispute. This institution was first set up in 1875 as Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Now, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, very well-known reformer, he was of the view that the Muslim population in India should balance religious education with scientific education. He thus wanted to set up an institute where the students from the Muslim faith would be getting state-of-the-art education in science, literature, etc., and they would be able to manage that and balance that with their religious education as well. Now, in 1920, the institution was given the university status and all the assets of the college were transferred to the AMU, that is the Aligarh Muslim University. The Aligarh Muslim University was set up by an act of the central government. Now, when did the dispute start? The beginning of the dispute was in 1967. There was a Supreme Court case in 1967 where the question was whether this institute can be regarded as a minority education institution or not. In other words, can it run autonomously with its own rules and policies, or does it have to abide by the government policies? In this case, in 1967, the Supreme Court said that it is not a minority education institution. You can't say that it will be administered by the Muslim minority only, or you can't say it was set up only for the Muslim minority. It is set up by a central government act. Now, after this judgment of the Supreme Court, what happened was the government of India thought that no, this is not the right way forward. They introduced a new law to give back the status of minority education institution. That was in 1981. An amendment was introduced in the AMU Act, under which it was given the minority education institution. Because of which, in 2005, the university introduced a rule of 50% reservation for the Muslim students only, saying that we are a minority education institution, we can do that. This 50% reservation rule for Muslim community, this was challenged in the Allahabad High Court. The Allahabad High Court then removed the reservation. The Allahabad High Court said that no, you cannot have this reservation because you do not qualify under the minority education institution status. Now, the next step was the government appealed against the order, but that appeal was never heard because the government changed. When the NDA government came in, they withdrew the appeal. They said that we will not appeal against the order. So the present status is that this is not considered as a minority education institution, but there is still appeal pending and the court has now started to hear this matter. That is why it is in the news. It is important to understand the concept of Article number 30 of the Indian Constitution and how does it impact the rights of minority education institutions. This brings us to the end of today's session of the daily quiz. I hope you learned something new today. We'll see you tomorrow with the next session. Make sure that you have already liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel to get all the updates about the CNA and the daily quiz. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead. Bye-bye. Jai Hind.